contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. That is my boy, Professor Keith. As always, and joining us is the one and only, the Mastadon. Uncle Masty, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
We appreciate you being here, my man. If it out with guys like you, guys like me and Keith wouldn't really exist. So here's the thing. Before we talk about how you got into the wrestling business in the first place, I would love if you talked about your own organization. Where did you get that going? How did you get that going? And where can people find that in this?
Well, Uncle Masty's SMASHMASTER WRASSLIN is my new baby. We actually just had our first show last Sunday. Booming success. It was fantastic. It was up in True, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Scranton. It was kind of an accident. I mean, that's always been the way things have been trending for me. I was always going to end up running a show. I've got over 20 years, and I've been floating in and around the business and other parts of the entertainment industry, and running my own thing was just inevitable. And the right opportunity came up, the right venue. I've been scouting talent for over a year, just rebuilding relationships and cultivating friendships. And we pulled the trigger, and man, let me tell you it was something. It was something. It's going up on IWTV real soon. I'm doing a little bit of last graphic work and some video work that we got to add on there, some post-production stuff. But we're going to be up on IWTV probably next week. That's the plan.
Nice. IWTV.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Go big or go home.
We got some comments here. Big Dave Motorman's here. Good day. Good evening, guys. Let's sit back, chill, and welcome to Mastadon.
Hey.
Big Keith, I don't. He hasn't fixed his Facebook issues.
No, he hasn't.
Big disrespect. Brandon Winters, the son of the Thundercat, is here. Good afternoon, y'all. What's up, Braden? Braden was on our show last week, and he did a great job with the trivia contest, Keith. So we're going to dial it back and see how you got to be a wrestler in the first place. But I want to know a little bit more about Uncle Masty's. How does one decide to start his own promotion? Like, where did that come from, man? How many guys have you recruited to?
Well, it starts from a deep sense of self-loathing and a desire to make you want to just pull your hair out. You know, if you think your life's going nice and peaceful, try to run a wrestling show, and then it won't. It's actually, like I said, for 20 years, I've been sitting back and watching and taking and learning more from what not to do. Thankfully, on somebody else's dime. That when the opportunity popped up, and like I said, the boxes were all just checked right there. It's like, you know what? I think we can do this. You know, we got the right connections. We pulled a decent crowd. We made everything about the community. I did not advertise my show much to wrestling fans outside of social media. I went right to the community. We did a program called Comps for Kids. I'm sure we'll get into that quite a bit. But what we did is all of our sponsorships were tied into donating tickets to the community. So for every sponsorship, I donated a certain amount of tickets. We gave it right to the Civic Center, which was hosting our event. And they just gave them out to kids in town. Because wrestling's for the kids, man. That's what we do this for.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids can't afford a $20 ticket. And their families, you know, you got 2-3 kids in there. That's $60 right at the top. Then mom and dad got to come, man. You're $100 in. And you ain't even bought a hot dog or a handshake. So if we can find a way to make wrestling more accessible to kids, and let us older folk pick up some of the tab for it, well, we can make sure that we got the next couple generations to go already waiting in the wings. It's better for the whole wrestling ecosystem for something like this. I can sell sponsorships and give kids tickets, and it don't have to go in my pocket. Now, don't get me wrong. If you don't make dollars, it don't make sense. If it don't make sense, it ain't we're doing. We turned a profit on that show.
Right.
Everybody got paid. Everybody did business, but we made it about the community. We made sure that all the kids that needed to be in here. And let me tell you, if I had a kid come up to that door and say they didn't have no money to get in, they were getting in. I ain't kicking kids out. Now, some folks try to take advantage of things, so you gotta have your filter on. But we didn't have no problems, none at all.
That's awesome. David Hill, I see you there, brother. Good evening, guys. Great SWO show last night. Yes, David, it was nice to see the guys down at Susquehanna, down at the Seven Valleys. It was a great show last night. Salute. It was great hanging out with all you guys, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in today and supporting us.
SWO is a real fun group. It's just the only thing you got to know about SWO is when you come through the curtain, it is mandatory that you do the Susquehanna scream. I want you to pay attention next time. Everybody come through that curtain, they scream like a banshee.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. I know all about that. So let's go back to the beginning, my friend. Let's go back to when you got into this business in the first place, because you started out like, wanting to get into this business. Somewhere along the line, you fell in love with professional wrestling, like I did, like Heath did, like every wrestler that we've ever had on this show has. So how did that happen to you? Were you a kid? Did you start watching?
Well, when I was a kid, my parents didn't let me watch wrestling. See, anything I saw on TV, I tried to do. And I had an older brother. We just tried to beat the living tar out of each other on a good day. So we weren't really. So we had to kind of sneak it in there, And I'd sneak in. We'd watch the. We're brothers, so we'd watch the Hart brothers. We watch Owen and Brett.
Sure.
Loved Owen Hart because I'm the younger brother. My brother loved Brett. He's the older brother. It's easy peasy. I also was really big into Tatanka. I like guys like, I don't know, it's just guys like that. They had a little bit more zip to them, a little bit more energy, And so I snuck paying attention, but I didn't really. I was more into comic books and Star Wars, and I found my escapism. It just wasn't in the ring. And then I was about 14 years old. NWO, Hulk Hogan just did the whole NWO. They made the New World Order, and all my friends at school were talking about Nitro, WCW. They were all Nitro guys, And I was like, well, what are y'all watching? I want to check that out. I was a chubby kid. I was 6 foot when I was in 7th grade. I was just a big old bear, And I started watching WCW Nitro, and I just started falling in love. Ravens flock. So that's what sucked me in.
There you go.
I was like, they can do it. Now, this is dangerous now. I know this is dangerous now, but I thought if they can do it, there's no reason I can't do it. So I started down the path of following Raven's career, and then found ECW, and here's a 15, 16-year-old kid stumbling onto the Dudley Boys and Taz and Sabu and Tommy Dreamer and Rhino, all that. I was sucked in there, and I wanted more. I figured out hey, these local guys, they give you a hell of a better show than the big show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I went to my very first pro wrestling show at the New Media Raceway in I believe it was 1998, and on that show was a man named H.C. Logan.
Okay.
This is important. H.C. Logan was like, oh man, he looked like a baby. He was just a kid. He must have been like 20, 22, 23.
Yeah.
This is a hot minute ago. Located spring chicken. And I got to talking to him, and he's not the biggest man in the world, but he carries himself like a big man, And I was talking to him. I do believe he wrestled Shockwave that night. I got to just realize that these are just people just like me, and there's nothing to stop me from doing this. I just got to figure out where to go. And a buddy of mine, a science teacher, substitute teacher, Eric Schaefer, family friend. If you're from the Philly area, you probably bumped into him at a show. If you've been in shows in New Jersey, you've definitely seen him. He still shoots 35 millimeter to this day. He took me to that show. He then took me to WXW to Hazleton for the Owen Hart Memorial Show. It was my very first WXW show. So when Alfred Samoan was running up there. And HC Loke was on that show. And I was like, oh, cool. So I know somebody. So, like, I was invested. He wrestled Judas Young, who's a guy that just stole my attention right away. And I just kept going back. You know, Alfred Samoan made a career out of stealing money. And he saw this goofy little 6 foot tall, 300-pound kid walking around who just wanted to be a part of something. And he pulled me right in. He treated me like family. So before I even started training to be a wrestler, they was treating me like family. They let me shoot ringside. This old bear used to shoot ringside photography, you know. Ain't nothing like the boys look small. And I got to learn a little bit about, you know, how business works and how things work. And like I said, this is always inevitable for me to run my own show. And in Pennsylvania, there's some strict laws about when you can start, you know, when you can be in a ring. So Pops didn't want to let me in until I was closer to the age of being legal, because what's the point of having an asset if you can't use it? And after Sports Fest 2000, I was 17 years old. He called me up in his office and he said, son, he's like, I can't have you shoot ringside no more. I was heartbroken, you know.
Right.
And I didn't understand why. I said, oh, there's something wrong. He goes, oh, you're just bigger than the boys. It just doesn't look good. He's like, you need to start your training. So, you know, like internally, I'm like, So I had a lot of instruction from Pops and from Sal Balomo.
Yeah.
Absolute legends, absolute gentlemen, absolutely fantastic human beings.
We're talking the Wild Samoans, Professor, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
we are. I always love how now, like, everybody met, like, Pops. They met Kind Offa. They didn't meet Offa, who got in the business. You know how the Samoans got in the business, Offa and Sika? So they are right. They are cousins, I believe, cousins of High Chief Peter Maivia.
Right.
And we're talking high kayfabe at that point. Nobody was clued into shit. You didn't clue your family and you didn't clue anybody in. So Maivia, I think, was working heel in California, and there's a riot at the Cow Palace. Offa and Sika are there. They see this riot, and again, they believe everything is real. So they jump in the ring and they start beating the shit out of anybody and everybody that gets in their way. They're beating up fans. They're beating up wrestlers. They're beating up everybody. So finally, the riot ends. Everybody gets in the back, and everybody goes up to Maivia and goes, you have to break them in now, because Jesus Christ, they're going to kill somebody. If you don't, smarten them up and break them in right now. Starting tonight, you're going to break them in, because they were that dangerous.
Masty, you ever hear that? You ever hear that story from Pops himself or anything like that?
I've heard several stories over the years, many of which I can neither confirm nor deny. I was not there, but I have heard elements of that story for sure. There's a lot of legend, a lot of lore. There's a lot of truth, and there's a lot of truth in there, you know. I am not going to be one to say one way or the other. All I know is I was not going to cross that man or anyone in that way. Still wouldn't. No. Still would not. I got my start in with them. Now, how it usually works at a training center is like you got one guy who'll be like over all of it. So that's like Pops, Alfred Wild Samoan Training Center. It's got his name on it. But he's not going to spend all day telling you to fall down, teach you how to bump. He's going to have his students who he's taught how to do this guide you through that process to you for his actual instruction. It's the proper way to do things. I was assigned to John Trotsky. Supremely great. He beat the living hell out of me. That's what his did to him. That was Jack Molson, Moondog Molson. So I always call him my wrestle pappy. The Wild Samoan Training Center. Nobody knew how to bump better. Still to this day, you meet a Wild Samoan guy, you will not find a better bumper on the planet. You will also not find someone more intimidating in that ring on the planet, because we were taught how to defend ourselves. and how to make sure other people knew how to defend themselves. So it was a do no harm, take no shit type situation, but that's just how the business was. You know, we talking like 99, 2000, 2001, you know, them early years. And I got broke in with them, with Tommy Suede. I got to spend a lot of time with a lot of folk from up around PA, Molson. And then I started sniffing around at the New Jersey Independents. You know, and I say it almost like it's dirty because it's almost like doing drugs a little bit. It's like sniffing around in Jersey shows, you know. And then I started seeing all that. I call it indie pop. Some people call it super indie, that high spot, American style, lucha style, Japanese strong style, like that Ring of Honor type style, right?
Right.
So I was brought up with that old school, leave no daylight, you know, pound the piss out of a mouth, you know. I started seeing acrobatics and just different forms of wrestling. So like I started watching a little bit of everything and really paying attention to what was going on. But I knew who I was. You know, I know what I am. I still know what I am. And I ended up just kind of bouncing around between PA and New Jersey, a little bit of Maryland early on. I got pretty fortunate though. Samu always looked out for me. He, like, for whatever reason, he always liked me. You know, maybe it's because he could walk in the door with a kendo stick and be like, "Hey, come here. You know, I'm gonna hit you with this." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna chop you." Yes, sir. To this day, he come up to me, he chop me. I ain't gonna stop him. I'm popping my chest out, making a better sound. You know. So I was pretty lucky. They always took good care of me. I saw a lot of Alpha Junior's early work, some of his first matches. I actually have an 8x10 in my collection that says, this sign, Alpha Junior says, "This is my first 8x10. I was like, come on, baby, make it all the way. Make it all the way, baby. But he's just terrorizing referees everywhere he goes, you know. I got to watch Lance. I got to watch Lance on a while. He just signed with MLW. From the time he was like 6 or 7 years old, coming out doing people's elbows and Bronco busters and stealing the show from inside the ring as a little kid, you know, and he's always done it and he can still do it. And I'm looking forward to this next chapter of his story. So I was really blessed to be brought up in that Wild Samoan family. I feel like it's the last of a dying breed, right? Because the business really changed, and it's not necessarily for a bad thing, but the business really changed over the years. Gotten away from a lot of the old ways, and there was a lot of things that need to get away from, but there's still some good that, you know, needs to be preserved. And yeah, I feel like I've always adapted well. But about 2003. I'd gotten an injury in my leg. Okay. Burst a blood vessel. I had hematomas and some cellulitis. I was unloading trailer tires from Cheetah Chassis in Berwick, and I popped the hatch open, and the tires shifted, and they all fell on me, and one just messed my leg up. Yeah. So my leg all swelled up, and you know, I got behind on training. You know, I just kind of lost focus, lost steam, and fell into some bad behaviors and patterns and habits and, you know, these things, and took some time away, get myself back together. And then I got into ministry and started doing running concerts and touring with bands, and spent a while as a preacher, traveling the circuit. I've done a lot. I've been away. You're living the life. You mean, you got to. You only get one circuit around this, you know. You just got to make the most of it. And I try to do I agree with that 100%.
Did you say Berwick earlier?
I did. I live out in Millville.
My mother lives in Berwick.
It smells like potatoes there. I used to work at that. I used to work at that chip factory, as a matter of fact.
It totally does. That is not a lie.
Last time I wrestled there, I told I was supposed to come in the ring as a bad guy. I said, "This town smells like rotten potatoes." And the people said, I mean, he's not wrong. He really does. Yeah. It's not working out in my favor.
I got another comment here, a friend of ours, Professor Bob Bushman. Hey, guys, great time last night. Alan at SWO. Around the Turnbuckle is the best podcast around. Thanks, guys, for having Mastadon on. And been waiting all day for this. Thanks, Bob. And I appreciate it. And it was great hanging out with you last night. I couldn't thank you more.
Appreciate that, Bob. Thank you for the work, man.
Yeah, so Wild Samoans, then you got hurt. Then you make your comeback. Do you make your comeback with them, or do you make your comeback elsewhere?
once you WXW, you WXW for life.
Okay.
You know, if you from there, you go back there. That is home. So 2012, I was working at a tattoo shop. If you listen to my story, it's like watching Big Fish. I swear it's all real, but it sounds like malarkey. I was working at a tattoo shop as a tattoo shop manager. So one of my best friends would tattoo all day long, and then my job was to book his appointments, set his prices, handle the people so he didn't have to. And then when he was bored and he was tattooing, I'd read him Wikipedia articles. So I got pretty smart just sitting hanging out there. But some buddy of ours came in, and my buddy Frank the Tank Curry, and my other buddy Johnny Vegas, they would always hang out and they're like, hey man, you should do that wrestling thing. I'm like, nah, I think them days are behind. Them days are behind. You know, but it's like the mob. You don't get out. Okay? As soon as someone starts talking about it, it's gonna happen.
Once you're out, they bring you back in.
Oh, always, every time. And then it's so hard to get back out again, but they get you right back in. So these boys were just harassing me, like, come on, man, that'd be awesome. You should go wrestle again. I was like, nah, I'm fat. Like, I'm fatter than I am now. You know, I was like, I don't know. And then my buddy Frank, he's about 6'5", 300 pounds, still great, Jack Diesel. He looked like Shaquille O'Neal, just really white, you know? And he's a scoop boy. Like, he's covered in tattoos. He's a biker. And he's like, I want to go. Take me down to that place. I want to go train to wrestle. I'm like, all right, Frank, I'll take you down.
Wow.
So I called up Sam and I said, I'm going to bring some boys down. I want to talk to you about training. And he's like, okay, it's going to be great to see you, brother. It's going to be great to see you. I'm like, okay, yeah, Sam, thank you. I have all the respect in the world for that man. I would walk across burning broken glass for Samu. That's my boy. So I went down there and he sees them and his eyes got like this big. Because if I'm the third biggest guy that walks in a room, you know I'm with some big motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah,
right.
And he talking to them and they're, you know, doing the whole business talk. And he looks at me and goes, when you come back? I was like, when do you want me back, sir? Shit, there I go again. I'm back. So I was back with WXW, and I just get sucked right back in. I figured misery loves company, so I called my buddy John Trosky up, who's just doing movies. He's done wrestling, he's doing movies, making real money like an adult, doing stunts on movies.
Right.
And I was like, John, I'm back. And he's like, you're dumb. I'm like, come on, brother, I'm back. Come down with me. He's like, I don't want to. I'm like, come on, come down with me. We'll get Gus back, too. We'll get Gus to come in here. My old tag partner, Gus Harley, he's like, you get Gus, I'll come back. You know, bing, bong, boom. You know, all three of us back down there. And then starting trouble, the whole culture of charisma, starting a whole bunch of mischief. Just being a general menace at WXWC4. Whatever Sam needs, you know, we did dog collar matches. I worked Joe Gomez in a dog collar match. I don't know if y'all know Joe Gomez. He's an Allentown boy. He's in Florida now, but he was Hercules Gomez. He's just built like a brick shit house, you know. And he's a Puerto Rican man, and he don't know a lick of English. And I know even less Spanish, okay? So, like, we are an even playing field. We don't know how to talk to each other, but he is on the way to his championship. I'm a big old menace. They needed him to stop me being a bully because that's all I was doing is bull. I'd get to the show and I'd look for the smallest guy that show up. Look, Oos, give me that one. Give me that one. I want that one. And I just guys boom, 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 drop them on their heads. You know, it was a lot of fun. It's beautiful. I didn't have to do much. I woke up pain-free every day. It was a cream dream. And I ended up, you know, bumping into old Joe Gomez because he, like I say, he's on the way to the top. He needs someone to run through. I'm fattened calf. So we got to do this dog collar match. We can't communicate whatsoever. I can't hear. Not only that, he brought the crowd because he was from there. It's like 200 people there. Oh, Joe. I can't hear shit. All the hair on my arm sticking straight up. I can't hear a damn thing. I'm like, well, if I could hear, it wouldn't matter anyway. You know, thankfully we had Lloyd, L.A. Smooth, talk to us in the back. You know, he knows some Spanish. He knows English. So he was able to relay a little bit, but it was an old school on the fly, baby. You just listen to the crowd, listen to each other, and it was beautiful. And then Maven Bentley made me eat dog food, and that was some bullshit. And those days were wild, you know. We ran that for a bit, and then Culture of Charisma kind of disbanded because John Trosky eventually got his ass thrown out again, 50,000th time in WXW. That boy been fired more times than the oven in hell. And I ended up, you know, me and Gus were saying TDS, August Wright. He used to be at what's that place called? Pro Wrestling Syndicate. He was the drunken swashbuckler. We had a tag team called BYOB.
Nice.
And I'm sure you can imagine what the whole gimmick was. We got drunk and beat people. It was fantastic. It was the greatest thing ever. We got saddled up with the extra guys. That was not the greatest thing ever. I think I wrestled them at least 672 times at this point. I don't know. It feels like man. Every time we went to a new town, it was like BYOB extra guys. All right. How long we got? 12 to 15. Okie dokie. You know, we know how to put this match together. I've been hitting the head with a shake weight stiff so many times. I'm pretty sure I forget things most of the time just because of that.
Oh my God.
I've had protein powder caked in my eyeballs. It was bonkers. It was bonkers. Well, we just did. It's just as bad to them, so it's okay. And just stuff started happening, you know, just like, you know, I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to take my career to the next step. You know, I wanted to actually make money because most people, folks watching at home, we don't make shit for money unless you buy our merchandise. So when you at a show, come buy a shirt or a baseball card or a sticker, something. There's nothing more. Customer setting your gear out and your merch and nobody but just give us a pity fuck. Just throw $1 in a tip jar. Just let us feel a little bit of specialness, you know. Please. I got a whole bit of merch and I never sell none of it because I'm too busy running my mouth. But come find me and be like, hey Master, let me buy a shirt. I'll cut you a deal. I gotta stop hauling this shit around everywhere I go. It's heavy. It's like TJ Marconi's crate bin full of belts, but I'm pretty sure I got more merch than that.
Jesus.
So I started chasing a career path, and I ended up in a place where I was working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, exhausted off my ass, 12 hours a day. I did a couple 16-hour shifts. Paid my house off. That's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah, it's mine. My house, my car, everything I own, I paid for, and that's a hillbilly way right there. You know, we don't trust no banks.
Damn right.
Bunch of thieves, you know. So I did that for a while. I was working in the metal building industry. I started out on the floor, bending bows, bending square tubing into roof trusses. Worked my way up till I ran the whole place, the whole Northeast operation for Carolina Carports. That was my baby. If a building went out anywhere from Maine to Maryland, it came from my shop, me and my 8 guys. So we worked. And then I just started to burn out. And then COVID hit.
Right.
The shutdown. You know, I was living down in North Carolina at this point. I was actually working in the office down there because you can't stop the momentum of the Mastadon. You know, I just keep on going. And I just didn't. I was just losing my heart for it. You know, the money was beautiful. Like I said, everything's paid off, but the money was great. It's more to life than just making money now.
Right.
It don't make dollars. It don't make sense. If it don't make sense, it ain't worth doing. But there's more to life than making dollars. Just got to make some. And my buddy John Trosky, he runs a sanctuary. It's the most beautiful venue you will ever be in. It's the craziest place you'll ever go to because they don't follow no rules of professional wrestling. In fact, it's not even wrestling. It's stunt fighting.
Right.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, that is not something that they can commission. So John's got the golden ticket because he is a stunt coordinator. It's beautiful. So I start seeing what he's doing there, and I was like, what are you doing with no ropes? What the hell are you doing with no ropes? What are you doing over there? And he's running training classes in the middle of episodes of TV shows. And I'm like, what the hell's happening up there? So I start paying attention to that, and I start chit-chat with him. He's like, where you at? I was like, North Carolina. He goes, oh, that's a good place for you. They're going to eat you up down there. I was like, I know. I got to meet them on my hand. I love them folk. They're my folk. And if any y'all from North Carolina watching this, I love you. I don't mean that with any disrespect whatsoever. But I love y'all so much. Book me.
There you go.
So I was one of the only managers left in the buildings during the shutdown. So there's like 8 of us floating around, and I just got tired. Tired. I was like, I want to be in the house that I live in, that I own in Pennsylvania. I hate that I'm paying for electricity for a house I ain't even living in. And because again, it's just a waste of money, and it just goes against my very core. And ended up coming back up home. I had enough money saved up I could live for a year without having to work. You know, that's just not as a flex. Just like I said, that's a hillbilly thing. You know, don't trust nobody. Always have enough money. If you can't pay for it twice, you can't pay for it. You know,
Right.
You can't afford it, and you don't need it. So I started going back to Sanctuary. Started dropping weight, dropped over 100 pounds, working at Sanctuary, working with J.S. Hawthorne, John Trotsky, Jordan Palco, the boys up there. Just getting my feet back under me. Started working with the boys in the takeover because they were driving in from New York City. PJ Savage, the Faceless Ones, Jay Bougie. We all got to be real good friends. And then I started reconnecting with all my old friends because they smell you. You know, you come back, they smell you like, he's back, get him, you know. And then next thing I know, here I am, I'm driving to upstate New York. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here for $30? You know, what am I doing here? More money and gas I am to get here. You know, what am I doing in New Jersey again? I said it was never coming back to New Jersey, but here I am, you know. And then I ended up in Maine. I got to wrestle up in Maine here a couple weeks ago. That was a good time. So like it's funny, you know, I'm not a spring chicken. I ain't the youngest cat out there, but you know, I do what I do. I know what I am. I fit, make it work. I've been blessed with opportunities left and right. And like I said, an opportunity fell in my lap I could not turn down, and I ended up at the Troop Civic Center. And then on July 10th, the proudest day of my life, we put this show together. We turned a profit. We had no drama in the back. Everything went great. We're doing the post-production now that's going up on IWTV. It's a beautiful thing. We got a follow-up show. I don't know if y'all saw my follow-up show, but my headline is Masha Slamovich and Adina Steele. Now, if you from PA, you know Adina Steele.
I do know Adina Steele, yes.
And if you from planet Earth, you know Masha Slamovich.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how or why or what I did to be blessed, but when I called Masha answered, I was like, oh shit, she has to answer my email. Well, damn. You know, we in the business talk, we make it work. She on her way in. I got Jay Bougie and Vicious Vicky. We announced that one already.
We had Vicious Vicky on here. She's great.
So y'all know that New Jersey folk and PA folk, there's, you know, a river of difference between us. That's probably
a little bit, yeah.
Right? You know? It's like that imaginary line in the back seat of the car between you and your brother, you and your sister, and your parents say, don't cross that line.
Not to cut you off, but I grew up in Jersey and I now live in PA. So I know the difference.
You know the little duality there. So I was like, all right, Vicky's gonna come in. And they are going to hate her so much because we the Poconos too. Okay, we the Poconos. Poconos a beautiful place to live. Nothing but foliage. All these wonderful colors. And then all these New Yorkers are just swamping and take up everything. They clog the traffic, make us have to sit around just to get the Wawa, you know.
Yep.
And I thought this Jersey girl don't stand a chance. And man, she owned that crowd. She can do whatever she wants there. She is like the princess of the Poconos now.
Yep.
So we got Vicky coming back, and I was like, I need someone that can keep up. Someone that can run their mouth. Nobody run their mouth like Jay Bougie.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that. We just announced today Kit Raff and Tommy Vex. Y'all from SW.
We know Tommy Vex.
We know Tommy.
And I'm hoping y'all know Kit Raff. If not, you about to find out. Kitty Raff is the Notorious, and he is fantastic, and you're gonna enjoy him. Him and Tommy actually tagged together against the Diamond City War Machines on our show. So this is a nice little follow-up. Obviously, they did not get along. No spoilers, but spoilers there. I got a lot of other treats coming. I didn't announce it yet, but if anyone's paying attention, I'll announce it now. I do got Killian McMurphy coming. We got a spot for Killian on the show.
We know him too.
Well, I can't let all the secrets out.
Gotta save
Just
some
go
stuff.
to my Facebook page. It is facebook.com/Smash Master Wrasslin. WRASSLIN.
There you go.
Because that's what we do. We do that backcountry wrestling.
Right.
That's what my grandma always loved to watch. She liked to watch that tag team wrestling. That's what we make it. We make it wrestling. The old fashioned way, the old country way.
Classic
What's up,
Johnny
Paul?
Potter. What's up? What's up? Classic Johnny Potter in the house. Yeah, you mentioned the Diamond City War Machine. So the guys at Outbreak Wrestling and me, Mark Meston, those guys, they allowed me the opportunity to live my dream, which was the ring announce a couple of months ago back in April. And the Diamond City War Machine was the match that I announced. I announced them versus Pure Ignorance, which was a thrill. It's an absolute thrill to do that.
I'm actually on a show with them coming up as a match here in August.
Yes.
Up in Nanaco. Undisputed Championship Wrestling's making their debut at the Tilbury on August 21st. Because there's a show on the 20th also. August 21st. The Diamond City War Machines and Pure Ignorance are one of the feature matches. There's an 8-man tournament for the title. I am in said tournament, as is, of course.
Nice.
Bunch of other fantastic folk from up here. And then the day before, there's a Backbreakers Wrestling Entertainment. They have a showcase show. I'll be on that with my Wrestle Pappy, Moondog Molson. There's a lot of good stuff happening up on this side of the state. You know, it's starting to warm up again.
We're spoiled. Keith will tell you, we're spoiled in Pennsylvania. There is wrestling all over here. Like we've gone down to Quakertown. We've gone down to SWO. I have Frontier in my backyard. There's wrestling up in Berwick. There's wrestling in Reading. There's wrestling like out in Harrisburg and Marysville, CCW. I mean, within a 2-hour radius of where I live, there's wrestling to be had.
Absolutely, and it's good wrestling too.
Oh yeah,
it's great. It's great.
None of that little shindy backyard nonsense. It's good wrestling. We find that little stuff and we coach it along. We used to beat it out. That's the difference now. We used to find these little companies that just put out junk and we'd stomp them out. Now we try to help them build up, better for the wrestling community as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's less sociopathic, let's be honest. It's just less of a dickheaded thing to do,
Yeah.
I got a comment here from Jeff Becker. Great meeting you at SWO in Seven Valleys last night. SWO knocked it out of the park last night. Some up and comers on that roster. Yes, absolutely. Jeff, you were a great person to come up to me and talk to me like you did, and I appreciated every minute of it, brother. It was great. So what happens for you now? Like what do you have coming up? What can we promote right here and now as far as your promotion goes?
My next event is at the Troop Civic Center on August 28th. It is a Sunday afternoon matinee. It's a 2 p.m. bell time, 1 p.m. doors open. Like I said,
I like that.
You get done with the show, you can still go home in time for dinner. Don't have to be late or hungover from work the next day. You can get plenty of rest. Heck, if there's football on, you can still catch games that matter.
I don't think the season starts that early.
No, I don't think they start till, I believe we'll be in conflict in September, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
Football's always been the bane of his existence for wrestling. If it ain't on Sunday nights, it's on Saturday nights watching college ball. You know what? Wrestling fans gonna find wrestling. And most fans these days, I'll be honest, I've been all over the East Coast. Most shows are not full of them typical wrestling fans. They're full of grandparents and grandkids.
Right.
So just keep going out there. Do what you do what you love to do. Keep making the wrestling that you love. And you know what? Football fans will watch football. Wrestling fans will find you, but make new fans. That's what we do now.
Talk a little bit about the Mastadon. Where did that come from out of you? Because it's always interesting to ask that question to a lot of the wrestling talent. in the independent scene that, you know, who you've become, it's a part of you. Somewhere inside he was there, he was always there, and then you unleashed him at some point. So where did the Mastodon come from?
Well, when I first debuted, I just used my real name, which is Rosh, R-O-S-H. I didn't pick it. It was assigned to me at birth. It's not short for nothing. It's just R-O-S-H. It's like Joshua with an R. My parents are weird. I love them anyway. It's okay. Everyone in my family got a name that starts with an R. They must have just been running out, you know? Heck, our dogs' names are Rascal and Rex. I mean, I was like, come on now. At this point, we're just getting ridiculous, right? There's another R word. So when I started and I made my first day, you know, I actually debuted in my hometown in 2002. This is cool. 7/11 2002 was my debut. My promoter debut was 7/10 2022. So almost 20 years to the day.
How about that?
And it wasn't even intentional. I went down, I booked the dates, didn't even think about it. I was working around my schedule because it's not easy to be a wrestler and a promoter.
Right.
It's not. It is not easy because you got to make sure that you carve out time, not just to go hit your shows wherever you want to hit, but you want to make sure you get your posters out and get your tickets sold. You want to do the work because if you don't do the work, you ain't gonna get nothing. If you just post shit on Facebook, that's all you gonna get. Shit crowds. You gotta go do the work. So anyway, back to the story. I wrestled as just Rosh because I didn't know what this character was gonna be. And Rosh was kind of a drunken frat boy idiot because that's what I was. I was just a 19, 20-year-old drunk moron. You know, I was just a dumb kid from the sticks. And then when I came back, you know, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be something, you know, and I'm really big. Mastodons are really big. I always liked the fact that Vince McMahon loved to throw the name Mastodon at Vader at every given turn.
Right.
And Vader's like, nah, bro, I got a brand. I ain't changing my brand. I respect that, by the way.
Right.
And I always loved that when Vince would do commentary, he'd call him the Mastodon. And I was like, all right, this is cool. Number one, it sounds cool. Number two, Vince already likes the gimmick. So maybe if I own this shit, maybe I get on his radar.
I love that.
It never hurts to try. I had no other ideas. So like my gimmick was just I'm big, and at this, you know, when I did that, I was like 28, 29, and it's just a young man's game. No, it's not. If you can work, you can work. If you can work, you'll find work. I dare you to tell H.C. Loke this is a young man's game. That man can outwork most 20-year-olds. Actually outwork them. They may do more moves and faster, but that man will outwork them. So I was like, all right, I'm old. I'll be the Mastodon.
Do you know Damian Wayne?
Ace Austin's Damian Wayne? Wait, oh, I know Damian Wayne. I was thinking Damian Chambers. Yeah,
so that guy's 50 years old.
Yeah, good luck trying to get him to stop.
Exactly. That's my point.
Chance Prophet's come out of retirement 4 times since that man started.
That's my point. My point is, like, if you could work, like you just said, if you could work, you could work. Age ain't but a number. That guy runs circles around some of the 20-year-olds. You know what I mean?
It's all about knowing what you are, what your strengths are, and knowing what your weaknesses are, knowing what you provide to the show and where you fit. You know, if you think you gotta be a rock star, you best be a rock star. You know, it don't matter what your age is. Yeah, I felt, you know, I was told that I was an old man coming into a young man's game at 27. You know, it was like 100 years ago. So I was like, I'll just be the Mastodon. Also, Mastodons didn't make it through the Ice Age, and I don't like the cold. I moved back to PA, but I don't like the cold. I'm not the smartest man on the planet either. So I thought it was fitting, and it worked, and I had a really cool looking logo, and I was kicking it around. So I'll tell you what really sealed it. I dropped this on the podcast. It's a little embarrassing, but really got it on my radar. As a buddy of mine, I ride a Harley. I ride a motorcycle. I got other friends that ride other brands of motorcycle. I don't discriminate about nothing, about your motorcycle preference or no other preference. I don't give a shit. As long as you have fun doing what you do and you stay out of my way, I don't give a flying fart. And my buddy's dad, he was helping me change my rear tire on my bike, and he's like poking at me because I'm a big boy. piece. He's not no skinny mini neither. He's like, you ought to be the Mastodon, because look at you, poke like I'm the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm like, you lucky I don't slap you upside the head. But I do like the name, so I'm going to take it, you know. And I made him, he's a professional sign maker. I bullied him and guilted him into making me a cool little logo. I might have to dig that out. I made him do that, and I don't even use it no more. So that's where the Mastodon come from. Now, when I came back this time, again, I said I'm down about 200 pounds from when I was the Mastodon. And John Trotsky goes, hey, buddy, you ain't looking so Macedonian no more. You still big, but you ain't big. I was like, yeah, fair point. It's probably one of the nicer things he's ever said to me. Fair point. So I started trying to figure out what I was going to do instead. And I thought maybe I'm going to get like, you know, I was looking at Rockwell masks and getting like one of them headsets like Vader had, them silver ones he came out with that looked like the actual mask. And I was like, I'll go deep into that. You know, we will be the Mastodon. Then Beastman Husk comes out with the most beautiful headset I have ever seen. And I was like, my gimmick's dead. I'm done. This man's more Mastodon than I will ever be. And I couldn't even be mad about it because it's perfect. Everything he does in the ring, everything he does with that gear, it is not wasted whatsoever. Beastman is fantastic.
Uh-oh.
I could
Looks like Al knocked himself out.
That's my job, knocking myself out. Well, I'm just going to continue. He can
Yeah, there you go. He'll be back, I'm sure.
There we go. There we go. All right. So, see, we just made fun of you till you came back. So we good now. You didn't miss nothing.
I heard every word. No, so what happened there was, if you saw me, like while you were telling your story about the Mastodon origin, I actually was on my porch and my phone was dying and I didn't realize it. And I was like, oh man, what do I do? So I just kind of got up, went upstairs while you were telling your story, and switched from the phone to the laptop.
My mouth stops for no one, and I
know that, and I love that. Listen, Keith and I have been doing this for over 2 years now, and there are some guys where we have them on, and then we say to them, you know, we ask them a question, and they'll give us like maybe a 2 or 3 word answer, and we're like, okay, and then we have to ask them, we have to keep it go, we have to keep the conversation going. I asked you, so you love the wrestling business, and then you talk for 45 minutes.
So something that most people don't know is I have a degree in journalism with a track in public relations. I know how to be on your side of an interview very well, so I know how to give a good interview. So I always come to play ball. That's why I love doing podcasts. You just gotta catch me when my ADD ain't kicking into overdrive, because then it's bunny trail. Like, I'm very well behaved today. Like, you guys are in a mirror.
So I have a question for you from HTW Network.
Hi, Alex.
And they said, you know who that is?
I do.
Okay.
That's the guy who produces my show.
Oh, nice.
The top 5 wrestlers today that Uncle Masty wants to get his hands on.
That I want to get my hands on. Oh. All right. So last night, I'm gonna skip right to this one right away because these are no particular order. Last night, I finally, after 20 years, got in the ring with Steve Monster Mac of the Hit Squad. It don't matter what tag team you put that man in, it's scary. This is Steve Mack. I watched his battles with the Moondogs. Just some of the most violent things I've ever seen in my entire life. I loved every second of it. And that was like 20 years ago. So I finally got in the ring with Steve Mack. It was a tag match. Now, my typical tag partner, Skylar Kincaid, was not there. He was caught in traffic. So I had to hire an associate, we'll say, Luca Mancini. Now, if y'all watch Frontier, you know that is an unusual pairing because that little bastard's the one that caned me last show. But I had nobody else, and I wasn't going to lose my match with Steve Mack, so I put that little peckerhead in there. It was Steve Mack and Black G's. That's the other thing. You know, Black G's is actively on NWA right now. I ain't missing a match with an opportunity like that. No way, no how. But I'll be honest, my eyes were on Steve Mack the whole time. And as much as that tag match was fun, I went to one-on-one. I want Steve Mack one-on-one. I respect the hell out of him, but I want to show him that a Pennsylvania clothesline take down anything he got from Bed-Stuy, do or die. I promise you, my clothesline hits harder.
So that's one. You have they asked for 5. You have 4 more?
I got 4 more. Number 2, Pappy Molson. This is an easy no-brainer. Slam dunk. Now, I know Pappy Molson getting to the twilight years, but I dare you to try to tell it to his face. That's why I'm doing it from the computer where he's far away. I want my match with Pappy Molson. I want to know where I stand against the biggest brawler that's ever come from the Wild Samoans. Hands down.
Now, he's wrestling this Saturday.
I want where? I want it.
It's in Quakertown.
Oh, he's in Quakertown.
Yeah.
Yep. He's wrestling Malcolm King this Saturday in Quakertown for 3WA.
Yeah, I tagged with Malcolm King before. I knock him out just to get the match of Molson. Most our day is coming. You know it. I know it. It's going to happen.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, he's coming after he said after a 3-year hiatus. So he's coming back, and that comeback match happens this Saturday in Quakertown at the Q Mart.
Well, I ain't got nothing else going on this Saturday. I might have to take a road trip to Quakertown.
We'll be there. I'd love to meet you in person, man. That'd be great.
It's a toss-up between that and that show over at the old Hamburg Fieldhouse, one or the other. Isn't that this weekend?
Well, that's on Friday. Actually, it's a 2-day event. So Friday night on the 22nd is Outbreak Quarantine 2nd anniversary show. Then on the 23rd, it's Outbreak Wrestling. But 3WA is having a show that same night. But in between that is the Legends of Hamburg Fan Fest with all the legends from 11 to 4 at the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
God, we spoiled, ain't we?
No, we are.
It's
We're
crazy.
so spoiled.
I know. I love it.
Incidentally, Uncle Masty, I'm ring announcer at that show on the Friday night show.
Well, you best get your plugs in and get it over, son. You want a podcast?
It's been running across the bottom of the screen while you've been telling all these great stories the entire show. If anybody wants to come see me ring announce that, it's the Hamburg Fieldhouse Fridays. Doors open at 6:00. The pre-match is on at 6:30, but the actual bell time is 7:00. And I'll be ring announcing that entire show for Outbreak Quarantine 2nd anniversary show, and I'm thrilled. I can't wait to do it. It's my first dance.
Is the main event for that one still JS Hawthorne and Merck, or is that a 3-way now?
No, it's Merck. I don't know where they're working Mil Muerte Sin. I don't know if he's going to be added to that main event or if they haven't announced that. They're just saying he's in action. They didn't say who he's wrestling. So it would make sense to put him in the main like that, but I don't know what they're doing.
I would love that for both them boys. See, JS Hawthorne is my training partner at the Sanctuary. We throw hands. Listen, I got my bell rung a couple times by Steve Mack last night. That ain't no gimmick. That man lives hard, okay? JS Hawthorne is a clean, crisp thespian, but he hits like I taught him how to hit because I probably shouldn't have done that. Mark and I have danced at Titan. Mark and I danced in a hardcore title match. I don't want to talk about how it ended, but I mean it was a fun time for all parties involved, especially the fans.
Sounds like he got the better of you.
I don't know. No, just because he ended up on top don't mean he got the better.
All right. Well,
but I respect the hell out of Merck. Otherwise, he's one of my favorite people to see on the independent wrestling scene. I'm excited to announce his match. I'm excited to announce
all the guys that are going to be there. I've talked to some of them prior, and I'm really excited to get to know the guys that I haven't met yet. I'm going to get there early, and I'm going to get to know some of the guys I haven't met yet, so we can have a great time. Have a great show.
Now, what night is that SAT versus Diamond City War Machines and Philly Mike match?
That's Friday night. That's the one I'm doing.
See, I've known the Diamond City War Machines longer than I've been I've known them as long as I've been in professional wrestling. we all broke in around the same time, and in fact, we all spent a lot of time at Backbreakers before it was Backbreakers. I've known them boys since the underground wrestling days, from the Wyoming Valley Zoo days, the home base days. I've known them boys a long time. And Philly Mike, I just want to show up and put him through a table again because that's fun. I did that at Scranton at the mall HTW show. Who asked the question here? They ran a show, and guess who I was in the middle of a brawl with when Philly Mike come in the ring with a damn kendo stick? H.C. Loke. See, I don't even write this shit. It just happens. I can't make the shit up. I wish I could. I'd be a genius. I'd probably write it down and sell books. And no, instead, it's just how life works. So Philly might come in with a kendo stick and knocks me off. And, I throw Loke into the post and I grab that little knucklehead and I chucked him through his own merch table. I'm going to do it again. Promise you.
Philly Mike really has that effect on people.
It's a love-hate relationship. You just love to hate him. Philadelphia's that part. Anybody here from Philadelphia before I piss y'all off? Okay, fair game.
We're not.
People watching might be, but no.
That's all right. There's already enough folk down there to hate my guts, so we're just gonna roll with it. Philadelphia is that part of Pennsylvania that's just might as well be New Jersey anyway. Okay? It's the same thing. Them weird folk down there. So Philly Mike, I'm Philadelphia Michael. Sometimes we call him New Jersey Michael. Any which way you want to call him, though, you see him on the show. That little knucklehead's trying to do something crazy. The last Frontier show, he dived off the damn balcony on the Miles Millennium. I don't think he's walked right since, but man, it was wild. There's pictures. I believe there's a Twitter account called the same picture of Michael, Philly Mike every day. I just recommend following it.
I just saw Miles Millennium last night he was at the SWO show in the main event against Alan Clayball for the title, and it was a last man standing match.
How'd that one work out?
That was great. They destroyed each other and it was fabulous.
I didn't even see the results for that show yet. Who walked out away on that one? I was curious.
Alan Clayball is still the champion. But barely.
I know a little girl who's going to be very mad to hear that.
Barely.
See, the night that he won that belt, it's a small world. Independent wrestling is the ridiculous life that I live. The night he won that belt, him and his tag partner also beat me and my former tag partner at SWO.
Dog Nation.
Yes, Dog Nation whooped our dog asses, made us feel like dog shit.
They are scary good, those two.
They are incredible. I got dizzy watching them. I'm like, would you too slow to fuck down? I cannot hold it. Stand still.
They're very, very good. And it was great it's always great. Keith and I always see them a lot in Quakertown, but it was great to see them in SWO because in Quakertown, they're heels. In SWO, they're faces. And they had in the main event, basically, after Alan successfully defended his title, he was jumped by about 10 guys. They're called the Goon Squad, and so the Goons were beating them up, and then you heard the music, and Sage Matthews came out, and the place went berserk. I'm used to booing him and calling him a jerk, and he's flipping fans off and telling us to go F ourselves. And then I go down to Susquehanna, and his music hits, and it was like a Stone Cold
Bizarro world, right?
It
Absolutely
is.
Bizarro
world.
When they said you guys are wrestling Dog Nation, I was like, all right, these crowd gonna love us. And we came out, and I thought they were gonna start stabbing us some broken glass Pepsi bottles.
Go up to Quakertown, and it's the exact opposite.
They got so much heat in Quakertown.
All I know is if Tommy Vex is there, the rules of physics do not apply because it is Toontown. That boy just turns everything he touches into a cartoon.
That's true.
He was wearing a Toontown shirt last night when he had a hardcore match against Big Dust. So you called it right there. You called it right there.
He had a what? Tommy Vex did a what?
He had a hardcore match against Big Dust because Big Dust stole Mary Elizabeth, and so they had a hardcore match against Big Dust.
She's a queen of Maryland crab cakes. You put some respect on that name, or at least a little bit of Obey. Every group chat I am in that Tommy Vex is in is my favorite group chat. I swear to God.
He won't do our show. We've asked him to come on 100 times. He won't do it.
He won't do it until you stop asking. If you stop asking him and you don't want him to do it,
all right. Well, then I'm done. I'm done.
That's what we're gonna do.
He's like a petulant child, you know. He does the opposite of whatever you tell him to do.
All right. So yeah.
Next time we see him, we'll just be like, "You're never coming on. Never coming on." We don't want you.
I don't know if Tommy's ever going to watch this, but if you are, I'm not asking no more.
We don't want you.
We don't want you. No. We don't even want Mary. I mean, we would take Mary if we can't have both of you, but whatever. It is what it is.
If there's a video, y'all got to check it out. It's floating around. It's a Kit Raff and Tommy Vex video. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Little Gavin, who always dresses up like the Iron Sheik or
Yes, I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah, Gavin stole our show on Sunday.
I love that.
He owned it. Coach Kit Raff's manager, Coach Raff, his wife had a baby. God bless him. Baby came a little bit earlier than they were expecting, so he wasn't able to make the show. So, of course, Tommy got, Miss Crab Cake over there. And then Kit Raff knew he couldn't go out there by himself, so he got Little Gavin came out as the notorious GAV, as a little clone version of Kit Raff. And I'm pretty sure I saw every woman's ovaries in the whole building just burst and explode in that moment. I felt bad for Kit Raff's girlfriend because I was like, oh, dear honey, you are going to end up with a baby of your own now. And
I'm telling you, that kid, his dad brought him up right, man. Right, he shows up at events and he's the Iron Sheik. He's little and he puts guys in the camel clutch. It's awesome.
He directed his own promo. He cut a promo at my show in the back. He filmed not just a promo, not like your normal yell at the camera promo. Like, we're gonna be here. Da, da, da. He filmed the scene. This boy's 7 years old. He's putting out promos better than pro wrestlers have been doing this for longer than he's been alive.
Just wait till he's old enough to legally get. Just wait till he's old enough to legally get in the ring, man. He's already a legend. He's a legend now.
I made the mistake of giving him a payday that night, and I know by the time he's old enough to wrestle, between inflation and his rate going up, I'm gonna have to take out a loan on my house. All
right, we're gonna wrap this up soon, man. We usually only try to keep you for about an hour. We got one more comment in here, Jeff Becker. I was wondering where I knew Uncle Masty from, and now I know it was his appearance in SWO. We love Dog Nation in SWO land.
Everybody loves Dog Nation in SWO land. I lost some weight. If you notice, I lost some weight since then. So maybe I'll come back down here and see y'all on my own.
Well, I'll tell you what. We definitely need to do a round 2 with you because, I felt like we
answered 2 of my top 5 opponents.
Oh yeah,
I know, right?
You want to name the other 2 guys real quick?
Yeah, give me Juan Vargas. This one's for you, Bob Culture. Give me Juan Vargas. Give me Juan Vargas. Give me that beast. Give me the big man. I want Brute Van Slyke. Someone put suspenders versus bib overalls on the menu. It's been a hot minute since me and Brute threw hands. I want to do it again. And one of these days, I'm going to get another round with Lance on the White, and I swear, eventually I'm going to beat him.
All right. Well,
he's got to sleep sometime, right?
He's got to sleep sometime. I'm going to beat you eventually, Lance. It's going to happen.
Dude, this hour's been an absolute thrill ride, man. It's been, I swear to God, I had no idea what to expect with you because I've never met you. And I love your candor. I love the character. I love the whole damn thing, everything. And I can't wait to see you. And I really hope that your promotion goes as far as you want it to go, and as a place for people to come and have a good time, and for the wrestlers to come and enjoy themselves also, and having us have a good time. And meantime, man, if you are coming to Hamburg, I want to know because I'd love to meet you in person because I'm going to be there on Friday, and Keith and I will be there on Saturday for the Legends of Hamburg thing.
I'll be up there Friday too. Mark already asked, and if Mark Mess asked me to do something, I got to go do it. I love Mark. I can't say no to Mark.
So we'll be there Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday evening we're going to head down to Quakertown for 3WA, where your boy as you called him, Poppy Molson.
Pappy Molson.
Pappy Molson.
Pappy
He
Molson
goes
making
back.
that
Pappy Molson
comeback.
gets back into the ring after 3 years. So
There's a lot of good wrestling coming up this weekend. Folks got no reason to be sitting at home.
No, not at all.
Go out and say, even if you've never seen, if you've never seen pro wrestling, you're probably not watching pro wrestling podcast, but you haven't seen a pro wrestling show before, go check it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most fun and wild and ridiculous nonsense.
you'll get addicted. All right, Keith and I got addicted to going to these shows like 2 years ago because we were just basically fans of like whatever we saw on TV, and then we started going to these shows 2 years ago, and that's why this show has become what it is, because we care more about you guys and everything around us here more than the stuff we see on TV.
Look, as a community, we get to create art. Everything. This show is art. This is you guys making your art. When the bullshit I do in the ring, that's my art. When I do in my promotions, it's my art. I do my own show posters. I literally make my own art. My photographer friends, we are all making art, and we go out and make the art that we love. And as a community, we share that art together. We collaborate together. Other people are gonna come in and be like, "What the fuck y'all doing? This looks like fun, and I want to be a part of it. Come on, don't be shy. Come on, jump on in, make art, and love it."
I love it, man. So listen, we're gonna let you go on this note that you have your own promotion now. So if there's ever a guy or girl who you would think would benefit from coming on here and telling their story as you have started to, I'm gonna say that because we're gonna do this again with you, but. As you started to today, let us know and send them our way because we'd be glad to have them on here. Give them this platform and let them tell their story, especially if they're green as gills or if it's been 6 months or a year that they're just getting going and they're trying to make a name for themselves. Be our guest, man, because that's what we like to do. I'm putting
one on blast right now because you're going to see him on Friday in that main event. And you get yourself J.S. Hawthorne on here. I promise you, he got a hell of a story. And if he don't got a good story, I'll hit him in the head. I promise you.
I would love to have him. I would love to have him. Maybe I'll talk to him on Friday because, again, I'm going to meet him in person on Friday. So maybe I'll talk to him on Friday and hand him my card.
Start getting us some people. Be like, hey, I don't just announce your matches. I'll let you come on here and talk about yourself.
I was down at SWO and I booked like 3 different wrestlers to try to.
Listen, we all attention whores, man. We love this shit.
No, and I love it. I love that.
If you're a wrestler and you don't love coming on podcasts, you're missing most of the fun. You got to go connect with your fans. If you just show up, wrestle, and go home, ain't no one going to give 2 farts about you. You got to go connect with people. If you don't connect, fucking quit.
Absolutely. And man, I love the passion.
I'll shoot high. I didn't get anybody from Legends last year to come on, but I asked people. I even asked Sam to come on.
He did.
I got Sam's autograph because I grew up on him.
I mean, I tried, man. I cornered Barry Horowitz. I cornered Gene Snitsky. I talked to Maven a little bit, trying to get them on because we've had a couple of, and the only reason why we want to have those guys on is to try to elevate our audience so that when guys come on to tell their story, there's more people and maybe the right person sees them instead of having 100 people, maybe 500 people are watching. You know what I mean?
And plus they got the brass ring. They got to where everybody wants to get to, they can share what it's like. Yeah. And how to get there,
Give Virgil.
You know what? That's not a stupid idea. Virgil will probably do it.
Listen, it's on my radar. I know he's going to be there this weekend. I'm gonna talk to as many people as I can.
Yeah, Virgil will do.
The legend is if you set a folding table up in the middle of a mall, Virgil will show up silly by tens. I swear.
Yep, he will.
It's a fact.
Awesome. I always say that man has never missed a penny. Like when Virgil dies, the one thing you'll be able to say about him in his obit is that Mike Jones never missed a penny in the wrestling business. If there was a penny for him to make, he made it.
Yeah, but I'll have to pay him, Keith. I'd have to pay him to.
Probably, but maybe we can get him with a.
Listen, he lives for this. He will tell you stories all day. Clear your schedule. Shoot 5 hours. You got to let that man tell stories. They're worth it. And if you can ever get Samu stories, If you can ever get Samu stories, they're the best stories you'll ever have. They're not my stories to tell, but they're the best stories you'll ever hear. He got good ones.
Oh, I bet.
That man has dark magic powers as well, I swear. Because when you were talking about him coming to you and just going, so when you coming back? I got a friend. You probably know him. Jason Lesher used to work as a referee for the Samoans. I swear, I swear to God, Jason, in the time I worked with him, probably quit and came back at least 5 times to WXW. And every time it was because he's like, man, I was done. But I talked to Sam yesterday, and Sam asked me when I was coming back, and I just couldn't say no to him. I don't know what dark magic powers he has, but they exist. All he has to do is just ask somebody to do something. Really, he does.
The best
and there it is.
Walks this green earth. He is one of my favorite people. He walks this green earth with his bare feet. I love him to death. I drove down a few months ago to see him. We made soup. That's what we did. We hung out and made soup. I love Sam. He's my boy. Yep, we made ham and green bean soup. I wanted to show him some Amish food.
Unbelievable.
He can cook too. I told him, I said, you need a cooking show. Sam can cook. Come on. Jerry, IWTV. Get with Samu. Get that man a damn cooking show. Come on. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, don't go anywhere when I go off the air. We're gonna get out of here. So guys, thanks for joining us today on Around the Turnbuckle. Our guest was Uncle Masty, aka the Mastadon, and he is the Professor Keith, and I'm the Big Alboski. Next week, Keith and I are back at 6 p.m. sharp on Sunday with the one and the only Greg, the Mechanic Manual, is here next week. And so I got to talk to Greg last night at SWO. He's excited to come back on and see where he's been since the last time he was here. Also,
yeah, he's been a busy guy.
I've been scrolling along the bottom of the screen that this Friday is the quarantine second anniversary event, which I am ring announcing, featuring Mil Muertes and some of the other stars from Outbreak Quarantine that Uncle Masty talked about earlier. And also, this Saturday is the Legends of Hamburg event in the Hamburg Fieldhouse in Hamburg with from 11 to 4. You're going to have Action Smash Demolition, Rock and Roll Express, Coco Beware, Virgil, Deborah, and many others.
Samu's going to be there. Shane Douglas
going to be there.
Sabu
from ECW is going to be there, and many others. So if you guys want to meet the legends and get some autographs, come out to Hamburg Fieldhouse on this Saturday, the Hamburg Fieldhouse from 11 o'clock in the morning, guys, to 4. And then that night, Outbreak presents Outbreak Wrestling that night to cap it all off. So it's a great weekend of wrestling. Also happening, Keith and I will be down in Quakertown on the at Q-Mart for the next 3WA event, featuring Big Jack Wilson's return there against Malcolm King. So you don't want to miss that. A lot of wrestling to be had, guys. So again, we're Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski.
And if you can't make it out on Friday, there's also going to be another 3WA Carnage, which me and Al will have the call on.
Absolutely. We call 3WA Carnage, and we appreciate everybody who watches that and supports us. For Professor Keith, I'm the Big Alboski. He is Uncle Masty. Mastodon.
Ain't no party like an Uncle Masty party because the Uncle Masty party don't stop.
There it is. We'll see you guys next time on Around the Turnbuckle.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah. If you smile.